Hey, welcome everyone. Good to be here. I have a fun card to share with you today using some sponging techniques with a variety of ink pad colors and a stencil that I designed. Super excited about that. This card front is pre-stamped with "I'm thinking of you," but you could swap it over for your own sentiment choice. And I'm going to start out by stenciling a sun here in the corner. I'm using my Close to My Heart inks, and this first one that I'll be using is Sundance, and I really prefer blending brushes, but I didn't have enough on hand in the colors that I'm using, so I do use one on a different color, but here I'm using these. It's like a blending sponge, and it has Velcro interchangeable pads, so that is handy. You just need one little tool. Swapping out the stencil here for the outline of the sun, and I'm going to be using a brown, a dark brown. This is espresso, and of course you can use whatever. Actually, I'm gonna go with pumpkin first. I forgot I wanted to add a little bit of oranginess, but you can use whatever colors you have. I just happen to still have all of my Close to My Heart colors, and of course I don't want to just get rid of them. They're totally fine. I have reinkers for quite a few of them. Now I do have a blending brush that is being used with brown ink, so I'm gonna grab that for my espresso. This is gonna add some detail to my sun, and you might be thinking, why this color? But I think you'll see how fun it is once I pull the stencil away. Finish sponging here. Just want some darker details in that pull in the espresso ink that I used to stamp the sentiment. And a little bit more, just filling in these grooves. I used some stencil paper to cut this out. I designed this stencil. I found a card that I really liked the looks of, but it was a printed card, and I thought stencils would give me a similar effect. So I kind of stamped that sentiment ahead of time, imagining where I would lay out the parts to this card. So that's how it ended up in the location it did. Now I'm switching to my greens. I want kind of a ground, so I'm starting with sage green. And really, you need to tape these down. I always forget, and I always make a mess. So you can see I realized last second that I really needed to tape some of this down. These stencils, especially the ground cover part, there's very small lines in between, so you want to do your best to hold as much of the stencil in place with tape, and then you can hold the rest in place with your hands as you're sponging to try and get those crisp lines in between. So this is the lighter sage. This is one instance where the blending brushes do work a little bit better. I caught the corner of my paper outside of the stencil, and I was about to fix it there, you could probably see. And I decided, you know what, I want that corner to be green after all, so I left it. These foam sponges definitely are a little more hard. Not hard, they're soft, but not like a blending brush. The blending bristles are very, very movable, so they move right over the stencil nicely, and these blending sponges are a little bit harder in that sense, so I'm going across the page, not up and down, so that those little dividing lines in between my waves do not budge. I want as crisp a line as I can get. So you can see me struggling a little bit here trying to hold that, but a blending brush would be a lot better in this instance, but I got the hang of it. And I switched over to New England Ivy ink. So I have some shading, some different colors, and you can see that there. That turned out nice, the way I wanted it to. And a variation in color, which is actually what I was going for. You could easily use that stencil for water and turn this into like a beach themed card. That would work fine. I pull my espresso ink back out with my blending brush, and I use this foliage. So this stencil, I created this on a 5x7, so you could easily make a 5x7 card. So you will see that parts of it go off the side because I'm actually making a standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card. And this panel that I'm stenciling is 4 by 5 1/4. And so the sun I made purposely go off the edge, the waves go off the edge. Everything, you know, is designed so you could do it on a smaller card or a larger card. And here I am. I wanted a nice deep dark, this is espresso brown, nice deep dark foliage color. And I'm mounting this on Sundance paper. Sundance was the first color I used on that sun. Just using my standard Tombow adhesive, which I love. And that is the card front. I'm just going to mount it on a white card base, and this card is done. Really love the way it turned out. Super easy and fun. And I really love that I designed that stencil myself through Cricut Design Space and cut it out the way that I needed it to. Thanks a lot, everyone.